Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.
This show is brought to you by jasonhartman.com. When it comes to investing, you need a balanced portfolio: gold, silver, and real estate. Jason is a master at helping you build a real estate portfolio that throws off positive cash flow, gives you incredible tax benefits, and a high return on investment. Go to jasonhartman.com. That's Jason, Hartman.com. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz on 1590 WPSL. We're with Arch Crawford. He's got to catch a bus to Phoenix to get to New York for a conference. That's really a great conference. I've been to it before, and we wanted to talk about May 20th and what lies ahead. Arch, welcome back to the Financial Survival Network.
Thank you, sir.
So you said big things were going to happen on May 20th. You said some type of weather-related event and political uncertainty. And this is a feather in your cap, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I didn't see much happen to the market, but the gold is moving around very rapidly and may have formed a low yesterday. It's beginning to look like that. It had a good rally off the low yesterday.
Yeah, upside reversal, which is always interesting to watch, especially when it was slammed down so early and brutally in the session, and then it came back, recaptured all its loss, and went up by a couple of percent, which pretty amazing. And we had this
good technical sign, yes.
Yeah, and then we had this horrible weather event in Oklahoma. All those kids got killed and everything else, and that was in the charts there. I mean, I have to admit it.
The gold looks like it may have reversed on that critical day with the Uranus square the Pluto, and it's also a Mayan calendar date every year when the sun is in conjunct the Pleiades, and there is no shadow at noon in Chichen Itza. So that's every year around plus or minus a day from May 20th. But this time it had the Uranus-Pluto square on it, which looked to be a very, very big deal. Of course, we're getting all the political fallout and the weather fallout. The last time we had a grand cross, a really big deal in 2010, it did not end up affecting the stock market, but 20 million people were thrown out of their homes with flooding in Pakistan and China, and the Far East was inundated for quite some time. And when some eclipses hit that same point a few months later, there were 22 towns underwater in Australia. So it's a big deal. Some of these things are a big deal with the weather. Some end up with sunspots and strange electrical conditions, and some of them affect the stock market quite dramatically. So I've had that possibility in there, but the only most dramatic thing so far is the reversal yesterday in the gold.
Yeah, it was pretty substantial too. Whether it sticks or not, it's down. You know, today's May 21st. It's down about $15 around noon Eastern Standard Time. So that's going to be interesting to see. But you see more of these uncertainties and instability. We've got an eclipse coming up towards the end of the week, right?
Yes, it's the third of a series of eclipses. The first was April the 25th. Second was the solar eclipse on May the 9th, 10th. And then the third eclipse will be another lunar eclipse, and it'll be Friday night. I think it'll be after the close. So we don't know if it'll affect the market before, but I think it will affect it the following week after the holiday.
Right. And we're definitely seeing a lot of instability on the political front as well. These scandals are breaking. I mean, you need a scorecard to tell the scandals from one another.
That's true. It's really, I I don't think people understand how serious the Benghazi thing was, and I think I heard on the internet, which is not always reliable, that both the Pentagon and the White House were watching live in real time from drones above the attack.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's true.
I heard the same thing, and that's what all of the reports are saying, and that they could have sent somebody in there to rescue them. I mean, there's a lot of noise there, but it's starting to come out. It appears to the truth, or as close as we're going to get to the truth.
I hope we do. It has to do with running guns to Syria through Turkey, and that's why they didn't want it to blow up into a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's an insane situation here. Really is. You know, it just you never thought growing up you would ever live through a thing where the U.S. is like a laughing stock, like the gang that couldn't shoot straight. That story about a gang in New York, Crazy Joe Gallo's gang, and try as they could, they couldn't do anything right, and that's what the U.S. is turning into.
Well, these guys that are in charge now are doing a lot of things right for their ideology, but I'm sure that I do not like their ideology. That they are socialists in the first case and thugs from Chicago in the second case.
Yeah, and we don't normally talk about politics on the Financial Survival Network, but when you've got these dueling scandals, 4 or 5 of them breaking with more every day, it's all of a sudden, Arch, it's like a dam was broken, and the truth just comes flooding through to you, and you can't not address it in fairness because it's a big deal.
Well, on the going back to the financial, the 10 and 30-year bond pictures look like they are topping out, and they have been topping out actually for a long time, but then they kept going higher up until I think it was June of last year, June the 1st or something like that, at the actual high. And there was a slightly higher high in July on the 30-year, but that's the 30-year and the 10-year topped in July, looks like. And it's been sideways to lower, and it looks like it's forming a multiple head and shoulder top pattern, and it may take some more time, but as the bonds decline, the interest rate rises, and the interest rate has the power to throw a monkey wrench into everything, not only from the standpoint of physical production, but also from the fact of so much debt being on the books right now that any rise in the interest rates could cause a lot of trouble. And if we, I wrote in a letter a couple of months ago that if we have a normal rise to about 4% in, say, a year or two from now, then 34% of our Treasury income would be going just to pay the interest.
Wow. And that's pretty well unsustainable, isn't it?
I would think so, yes.
Yeah. So where's this all heading here? It looks like it's going to be some type of climax top for gold, for treasuries, where they go down and waterfall event. And at that point, you would think that gold and silver are going to start finding their way.
One would think so, and I'd like to hope so.
Yeah, well, the sooner that happens, the sooner they got to get back to reality and really try to solve problems rather than create more, which seems to be the primary function of government today, is find a problem they created, come up with a solution that makes the problem worse, and then have things really go out of control, and then come up with another solution to that solution, which further restricts your freedoms and really forces you to pay more, and really changing what it's like to be an American.
Well, we're following Greece and Italy. You know, we're a little behind them, but we're following the same patterns.
Yeah, it sure seems that way, doesn't it? So we're going to let you go to the conference. Just mention that conference again, because it's really worthwhile. And you said P.J. O'Rourke is going to be there, and someone else noteworthy?
Jim Grant, who does the Interest Rate Observer.
Right.
He's like one of the top in interest rate analysis.
And it's the Committee for Monetary Education and Responsibility, something like that?
Monetary Reform and Education. It's CMRE.
And it's held at the Union Club, if memory serves me correct, right?
The Union League Club on,
right.
I think it's 38th and Park on the corner.
Yep. And if you haven't been to
it's Thursday night.
Yeah, it's this Thursday night. That will be the 23rd. And if you haven't been to the Union League Club, it's really a special place. It was a place where abolitionists and supporters of the Union during the Civil War started that club, and it was a major center of freedom and thought. So it's really appropriate that we talk about new monetary systems and reforming the old one at that venerable venue. It's really a great thing, and I went to it one year, got to meet you, Arch, and it was really a great experience.
Well, I like it. I go to it usually once a year. They started having two meetings, one in the summer and one in the fall, and I didn't get to the one in the fall, so I'm going to this one.
Oh, that's great. Well, it's really
I also wanted to meet P.J. O'Rourke.
Yeah, who wouldn't? One of my favorite authors, Parliament of Horrors, Holidays from Hell, and you just read his books, and they're hysterical. And there's an up-and-coming P.J. O'Rourke in the libertarian movement. His name is Adam Clary, Clarey. He calls himself Captain Capitalism, and he's got that P.J. O'Rourke bent, that ability to find humor in the most dismal things imaginable. He's really special. I highly recommend you check him out, Arch. Blogspot, Captain Capitalism.
On the general indexes, they've been in very steep advancing trend channels, and they're breaking out above the trend channels now, which usually means that we're in a blow-off phase, and that could last any amount of time, very short or very long. But I would say it's getting into very, very dangerous territory, and specifically the sentiment readings have gotten back up to where they were at the top in 2007.
Yeah.
Several of the sentiment readings. The cash in the institutional cash is extremely low, and bullishness among several segments are back up to those high bullish levels. But I can tell you that if we had the same headlines in the newspaper as every day now, and if we had those 20 or 30 years ago, the market would already have cut itself in half. So
Yeah.
This is totally phony baloney that it's being held up here.
Yeah, no doubt. And thank you, Plunge Protection Team. Thank you, Uncle Helicopter Ben. And thank you, Treasury, for making it all possible or to disconnect and divorce the stock market from what little bounds of reality it used to have. So on that note, Arch, thanks for coming on the Financial Survival Network. Your website again, give it to us, and how we get your trial membership.
It's CrawfordPerspectives.com. A trial is $50. If you send us a note, we might be able to send you one issue for no cost.
Excellent. So CrawfordPerspectives.com, FinancialSurvivalNetwork.com. We'll talk to you again next month, Arch. Thanks for being on.
Very good. Bye-bye.
Bye. So there you had it, Arch Crawford's perspective on things. You could debate whether he was right or wrong in his last call, but definitely a severe weather-related event occurred. Market in gold, really unusual, down $20, $30, winds up over $30 for the day. And You want to hear about this, more things, come to the Liberty Mastermind Symposium. You can find it on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Just click the link or go to libertymastermind.us. Sign up today. We're really getting great, a lot of people coming, and you know that good people are going to be there. Guys like Martin Armstrong, David Morgan, Chris Duane, Aaron Clary, Jeff Berwick, Michael Krieger, and so many others. So check out the speaker lineup on libertymastermind.us. Got any questions? Want me to address any issues in particular for you, unrelated to anything, whatever's on your mind. You want to be on the show, you want to be a guest, you want to be a sponsor, just send me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. That's kl@KERRYLUTZ.com. And we'll talk to you soon. This show is brought to you by jasonhartman.com. I'm looking into real estate investing now. Probably not a bad idea for you as well. Go to jasonhartman.com, Jason, HARTMAN.com, and tell him Kerry sent you.